A beautiful but blustery evening in the Maritimes. Wanderers grounds. That's where we begin match week 25 in the Northern Super League. You're watching the NSL presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. It's Kicking for a Cure night in Halifax. A special theme for this match dedicated to raising awareness and funds for cancer research. All of these players playing for someone special today. The Montreal Roses have made the trip out to the Atlantic to take on the Halifax Tides. I'm alongside Jessica Lisi, former Canadian Youth International. My name is Matt Cullen, and let's begin with the Tides, Jessica, particularly in net with Annika Toth, because she was terrific in the last match, and someone you know very well as a teammate from back in League One, Ontario.
Yeah, absolutely. This is somebody that has stepped up so much for the Tides this season. She came into that starting role, and she deserves every minute. She's a hardworking, humble person. I've always known her to be that person that gives 100% in training, but she's shown so much growth through the years, Matt, even just the past 3 years that I've seen her. She commands that 6-yard box. She makes it hers. She makes herself known, and she's able to do it in a very swift manner by keeping that ball out of the back of the net. So definitely a proud teammate, former teammate moment, and you know, just happy that she's finally getting her flowers.
And how about the 10 saves that Toth had against Vancouver in the 1-1 draw? 6 changes today for Stephen Hart, the interim manager of the Tides. Only Sarah Olai retaining her spot on the Halifax backline. Also of note that Amanda Allen back in on the left. We had a chance moments ago to catch up with Annika Toth. Annika, you're coming off a big performance against Vancouver, perhaps your best of the season so far, double digits in terms of saves. What's allowed you to steady your performances and play so well, especially late in the season?
Yeah, I think just continuing to do what we've done best this season and just to continue to work as a team. I think for me, it's just focusing on what I can control in the moments and continuing to do what I can do for this team.
Now let's go back to the beginning of this season here, Annika, because you had a difficult decision to make, and that was between applying to medical school or taking the route of being a professional footballer. Looking back now, how happy are you with the decision that you've made?
You know, it was a difficult decision, but I think with the opportunity coming up with the NSL, of starting up the last year of my career in the States, playing college soccer there, it was a no-brainer for me to pursue soccer playing at home in front of my friends and family, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Thanks so much, and best of luck today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And let's move to the Tides opponent tonight. That's the Montreal Roses, a playoff-bound side, Jess, but struggling as of late.
Yeah, and you can see that. They have the shot creation. It's comparable to Ottawa, Vancouver, and AFC Toronto, but they've really been struggling to find the back of the net. And you can see here, Matt, there were so many opportunities. It's great build-up play, great combination play, but that final shot is not coming off. There's no threat there. In this play specifically, great ball through. This is a story of the season. They get into the right positions, but then they lack the precision to put the ball into the back of the net. This one shows their variation and how they have that variation in attack. It gets played over the top. Boychuk, instead of just getting over that and chipping Bukovic, opts to really strike that into her hands. And this final one, you see Sauvé, if you keep an eye on her, her movement off the ball is fantastic. She times her run. She hesitates here and then ends up throwing off the final product. So they have to be able to be more precise and clean in the final third today.
So that is the job today for Robert Rosatoyu's Montreal Roses, making 3 changes to the team that lost 2-0 to the Calgary Wild. Julia Lees comes back in at right back. Felicia Waugh in the midfield. And Charlotte Bilbao up in the attacking midfield as Noemi Paquin is out due to injury. And let's head inside the Montreal Roses dressing room with the manager, Robert Rosatoyu.
Take each other very, very tight. Hold each other. Take it. Yeah, no, take the shirt. That's how you feel. That's how we feel. Because every time we're together like this, we are at our best. When we run together, when we're on task, when we attack together, when we're close, those diamonds, bring them closer. Proche les losanges, ensemble. Une, deux touches, sérénité, intensité. Fucking intensity when we need it, duels, and composure. composure, calm, great composure, great composure. We play our football, our football. Let's enjoy ourselves.
The Roses are ready for this one, a side that's third right now in the NSL table, but with a game in hand on Ottawa, they could move into sole possession of second in the table by the end of the night with a victory in Halifax. The walkout moments away from kickoff at Wanderers grounds. The Roses and the Tides coming up next. In the shadows of Citadel Hill on the beautiful Atlantic coast, we find ourselves at Wanderers grounds to begin match week 25. Robert Rosatoyu and interim manager Stephen Hart with some congratulations and some wishes of good luck before this match. And a big moment for Montreal's number 23, the 19-year-old Felicia Wages, in for her first start since August the 31st.
She's someone that has done very well with the moments that she's gotten to be on the pitch. She doesn't look out of place. And Rusto, you mentioned, wanting players to get those minutes so they're always in playoff form. So this is a big moment for her. She's somebody that finds those gaps really well. She's a confident young player. So definitely a good moment for her.
Montreal needs to find its playoff form. Only a few matches to go in the season, a side that just has 3 wins over its past 7. But this is a team, Jess, that's been very good away from home. But one thing they have not yet done this year is win in Halifax. A win apiece and 2 draws. And yes, this is round 5 between these two teams in the Northern Super League season. Glad you could join us on this Thursday night. It's a 14 degrees Celsius evening in Halifax. Yesterday we saw Stephen Hart in our pre-match call, all bundled up, toque on, scarf. Really felt like the fall in the Maritimes here.
Yes, absolutely. I am not looking forward to the cold weather, Matt. So trying to make the most of, 14 degrees is not bad. You love that.
But a little wind from the Atlantic.
You're right.
It's a game changer.
We can't complain though.
Head referee today is from Victoriaville, Quebec, Salma Flores Desrochers, her 11th appearance of the season. Laura Hall, Natalie Berry, and Ali Martin, all from the Halifax area, are the assistant and 4th officials this evening. And there is Stephen Hart, who is hoping for a victory for the Tides, as the Tides have now gone 12 straight, Jess, without a win, but better as of late. They've earned hard-fought draws in 3 of their last 4 matches, and that's been encouraging for this team that has had really some difficult moments this year.
Yeah, they've definitely faced some, more downs, than they have ups this year, but they're a team that is very resilient, and they've showed that, especially through the second half of the season. They've competed in all of these matchups, even with the top teams. You've seen them play off against Ottawa, Vancouver, as well as Toronto, and they were able to score in each of those matches and not walk away with a loss, so that says a lot about the quality that they do have. And just being able to translate that from game to game, finding the balance, because that's where they struggle a little bit with the inconsistency and being able to strike that balance.
And there is Stephen Hart, joined the Tides back on June the 30th, former men's national team coach as well. Throughout many years, knows the game inside and out. But yes, hoping for a strong finish for these Tides. Halifax right now dealing with a pretty ferocious press led by Stephanie Hill. The midfielder steps in front of that, finally taken back, and this is Amanda Allen. Allen will push back to Julianne Vaderon, one of your former teammates from your college days.
Yes,
Seems
big
like
fan.
you
Big fan
know
of her.
everybody out here, Jess. You could be out right there right now.
It has been my pleasure to play alongside some of these players.
Vaderon played for West Virginia for 4 seasons.
Woo, go Mountaineers.
The Mountaineers, there you go. Mentioned the 6 changes for Stephen Hart today. Decided it had to make some changes. Addie Wicker's out due to suspension on the match today. So 3 of those changes on the Tide's back line, and this is a side that has given up 36 goals through 22 matches on the season. Only the Wild have conceded more times. But this is a Montreal side, as we saw off the top, as Anna Karpenko places away. Struggled at time for offense, and now without Paquin, that's a big loss. She's expected to be out for at least the remainder of the regular season.
Yeah, Paquin has been in great form as of late. She's able to score her first 2 NSL goals. She's contributed as far as assists. But this Montreal team has all of the tools in their toolbox, Matt. It's a matter of being able to put them all together.
Jerem's ball towards Toth, and no trouble there for the Tide's keeper.
And that's a perfect example right there, that final decision and the precision in the pass. It needs to be better. You need to be able to swing that across the 6. That way Boychuk has a chance to get there.
This time Karpenko's turn in her 17th match of the season. Karpenko has started 3 of the last 4 for the Roses and did have a stretch of 9 straight starts. Appears to be in pole position in front of the Montreal net heading down towards the playoffs. Sauvé, good ball forward. Cherem once again races down. Olai has to be careful. Taken back by the South Korean international. Played back towards Hess. Ali Hess, ball across into the middle. Taken back and struck it on the volley. Comes over to Whitaker. Whitaker will now strike towards goal. Toth has to be sharp, gets down quickly, pushes the rebound aside, unable to catch it.
It's well done by Toth. Once again, we just hyped her. We just spoke about her in the pregame show, Matt, and she absolutely deserves all the hype because she is someone that has confidently stepped up for this team despite, you know, having been tested a lot this season as the goalkeeper for the Halifax Tides. And something Coach Hart mentioned to us is, you know, your goalkeeper is only as good as their back line. So that is something that they've been trying to work on. You can't constantly rely on them to save the matchup for you.
The Roses keep on coming. Fremont back in the starting lineup for the first time in 3 games. Looks around for a decision, and there will be a free kick to the Roses. Fremont voicing her displeasure. That's had 5 yellow cards on the season for Fremont, but here's the last flurry of chances.
Yeah, and you see Whitaker, she's able to get control of this, and she strikes it quick, but Annika Toth is ready, and she's able to keep that out of the back of the net. Yeah, she does well to release that quickly to test Annika, but again, Toth just coming up big for them.
And Stephen Hart mentioned, impressed with Toth's mental capacity to bounce back. There have been some difficult defeats, thinking of the one here at Wanderers grounds against the Vancouver Rise. Not easy always for the keeper to get back, put the gear on. Toth has been able to do that and really steady the ship over the last few matches, and watches this one sail wide of the post on this Halifax night. It's been a busy start for the Tides, number 12.
And, you know, one thing that really hurt Halifax the last time these 2 teams met was their inability to take control of that ball and clear it well. They kept dropping it at the top of their 18, and then ended up resulting in a goal by Stephanie Hill, where she was able to get that ball back in towards Toth and right over top of her head. So that is something that they're going to have to do better with today, to secure that ball when they are clearing it, actually finding feet, or at least getting it out of dangerous zones to not give Montreal that chance to strike on frame.
Halifax has won a match this year, one of their 3 wins on the season. That's Stade Boreal back on July the 12th. Happy to the team's last win. There's a look at Robert Rosatoyu, Montreal head coach, who described the last match, the 2-0 home defeat, the 5th home defeat of the season, by the way, for the Roses. Just unacceptable. He didn't recognize the team. That was not our identity, he said. Certainly had lots of chances.
Yeah, that's a game that you're not supposed to lose. When you have that many chances, you do all the hard work, you have the build-up. We saw such fantastic build-up from them as far as their combination, from recognizing those off-ball runs and playing that direct ball when it's on, switching the point of attack. Everything you want in your team in the attack as far as their attacking principles, but just lacking the clinical finish at the end of all of it.
Sauvé, ball into the middle, looking for Kang Cherim. Played back, this is Hess. Towards goal has Boychuk. Montreal captain, back into the middle, Bilbao. Long-time French international, unable to put the boot to the ball, and the Tides once again, now in the 9th minute, really had to defend ferociously from the start of the kickoff, really.
We've seen that all season long from Montreal. Matt, you know that they're going to come out from minute 1 and bring that fierce energy, put you under pressure. They make it very difficult for you to build out of the back. They always have numbers to support in their defensive structure. They're very well organized, and you can see it. They're on the same page as far as when they step, when they hold. They always have each other's back, and that's something that's very difficult to break down as their opponent.
Back into the middle, this is Roy. We'll look to the flank, Whitaker. Has to deal with Sarah Miller. Miller, for the time being, forces the Roses back. Hill. 5 goals on the season for the center back. This time the pass is intercepted. Could give the Tides a chance to threaten here. Taken by Tiffany Cameron. Did have a half step, but that was quickly made up.
It's a good idea to try to throw that ball through to Cameron. Obviously, Lees was able to find her footing and get that ball out. But those transitional moments are going to be huge for Halifax as well, picking their moments and being able to make something out of a mistake potentially.
Fremont. Sauvé. Ball did cross over the touchline.
As somebody who's very expressive with their face, I am living for Fremo's facial expressions.
Well, she hasn't played in the last 2 matches. Played 90 minutes in the 11 of the first 18, so really was a staple on this Tides team, but ran into some yellow card issues, did have to be careful, and really coming out firing in her return to the starting 11 here today. Right now there's another Montreal free kick awarded by the head referee.
I can't say I've ever watched Fremo play where fire wasn't one of the words I would use to describe her play. She's a competitor if I've ever seen one. She does not allow players to get around her, and if you do, she is going to do everything to try to get back there and recover. So definitely a big competitor, a fighter for this team, and as you said, she's been somebody that's done well for them in that back line.
Played towards the middle, Hess. Thought about sprinting on, instead it's countered back by Sarah Taylor. Taylor's ball to Sarah Miller. Miller once again threatening. Julia Lees does well along with Capadona. Sent away by the Roses. Second time that Sarah Miller's been free down that left side.
Sarah Miller is a player that has continuously proven to be a threat. She's very consistent in what she provides, and that's her work ethic, but also that bite that's needed, that extra bite to go 1v1. She's very brave, likes to drive end line. She can strike from distance. She's a very good attacker and someone that Montreal has to be aware of, specifically on that flank. When you have a player like Lees, who we're used to seeing more in that central role, so that pace is going to be something she has to be aware of.
Been a spirited start to this match. And only 2 matches this week. It's a lighter schedule as we play. These 2 teams have to play catch-up to get to 23 matches. Then will be 2 full match weeks before the playoffs. Of course, the top 4's already been determined. Something we'll talk about a little bit later as well, but big announcement today from the Northern Super League. Some hardware.
Yep, that's a clue.
Lots more to come on that. Of course, the NSL final will be played on November the 15th, presented by Toyota at BMO Field. First, we have to get there, though. A few match weeks to go in the regular season, and then, of course, the two-legged semifinals. It only gets bigger from here, Jess, which is why it's so important, particularly for the playoff-bound Roses, to start to find their footing, as they have the fewest goals scored amongst any of the playoff teams.
Yeah, it's a matter of being able to be great in all four phases of the match, and they've had definitely complete performances this year. We've spoken about it the last time, well, not the last time they played Calgary, but when they played Calgary and they were able to defeat them 5-0, it was a complete performance on both sides of the ball, defensive, offensive transition. They were just great overall, but that final third finishing, Matt, as you mentioned, they have to clean that up. They have to be able to find that precision heading into the playoffs, because you're going to want to score in those moments. You want to be able to find yourself competing at BMO Field on November 15th.
Olai plays back to Toth. Very little room to operate. It's Boychuk providing the pressure. And once again, Toth will send away. Cameron. There's a relatively muscular challenge there coming from Julia Lees. Pops right back up.
You'll see another look at it here. Just a bit of an extension there with the arms, shoved Cameron down.
Cameron in for her 10th appearance since joining the Halifax Tides. Scored against AFC Toronto a couple of weeks ago for her first in Halifax.
And her stats really don't show the impact that she has made since stepping onto the field for the Tide. She's been instrumental in helping them find success in the final third as far as creation. I know they haven't scored too many goals, and even herself, she's with just one lone goal, but she is somebody that really lights up that final third. She is great as far as being a target for them, and really just helping that team be confident to go forward, gives them the options that are necessary, and that's something that they were lacking heavily in the first half of the season.
Back-to-back 90-minute performances for Cameron. Does have 22 caps playing for the Reggae Girls in Jamaica. This is Amanda Allen, Mississauga, Ontario native. Nice little play to Fremo. Fremo deals a ball into the penalty area, and Anna Karpenko, 23-year-old keeper, needs to be sharp with that.
See a bit of frustration there from Jan's daughter. She wanted that ball straight through, a nice slip ball through from Amanda Allen in that moment, but instead she opts to not play that ball quick, and Montreal is able to get organized.
Quarter of an hour behind us from Wanderers grounds. Lucy Capadona played 90 minutes in 14 straight matches. One of the anchors on this Roses side that's conceded the fewest goals in the Northern Super League this year. So they haven't always been clicking in terms of their offensive capabilities, but defensively they have been a good side for the majority of the season. Into the middle with Bilbo. Some time and some space. Lees looks to Watt. Halifax will find itself back in possession again. Olai. Play the patient game. Monica Leslie. Valeron springing this ball. Sarah LaMiller, full sprint down the left side. Does have a step on Lee's. Ball's into the middle. It's off of the post, and somehow it stays out. Finally, the Tides find some joy down that left side. And it's the woodwork that saves the Roses in the 17th minutes.
Millie Clegg almost picking up her second NSL goal back-to-back games. But Miller, again, this left flank is going to be somewhere that they're going to have to try to expose. Lisa's a great 1v1 defender, but her pace is not her strong suit, and you see Miller utilizing her pace, getting that ball in, great delivery in. Clegg gets her foot on that, just goes off the post. She does beat Karpenko, but that post saving Montreal.
Speaking of Millie Clegg, back inside the penalty area, played off to Taylor, drive towards goal. Jonsdottir, play out wide, another shot towards goal, and that just misses. Back-to-back attempts, and that look says it all from Stephen Hart. As the Tides once again coming very close to the opener.
You're seeing the resilience from them. You're seeing them want that ball. Sarah Miller again on the ball, trying to strike that quickly, get it out of her feet. Hart's feeling what we were all feeling in that moment. He thought it was going to hit the back of the net.
It's really put an emphasis on playing for pride down the stretch. Hasn't been easy at points this year, but this is a team now that's been a tough side to beat. Looking at the draw against AFC Toronto, side that's now confirmed the first ever regular season winners. Tides did well in that match away. Go ahead 1-0 against Vancouver for most of the match a week ago. Here's Allen, ball is in, and Capadona does well, dragging that back foot. Otherwise, that's Tiffany Cameron against Anna Karpenko.
Clegg does well there to head that ball over to Allen, and she looks up to play that early cross in instead of going herself. Both were great options in that moment, but she isn't able to really nail that final pass.
How about the Tides here, turning the switch on?
Matt, this is as we said, you know, this is a new team in the second half of the season. They've picked up some great players, but they're also playing with a lot more confidence in situations and being able to adapt, and that's something that Coach Hart said they've been working on. He wants them to be able to find that adaptability in games and making the right decision with the ball, because at the end of the day, those are the players that are on the pitch. The coaches cannot give you every little decision that needs to be made in every situation. So he said there's been a lot of growth there, but they still need to find that balance and be better in it on a consistent basis. But we're seeing it here. They are a team that's very capable of hurting you if you give them the chance to.
Now, perhaps unfortunate not to be leading the match here against Montreal. Played for the majority of the game, as I mentioned, against the Rise. Roses will try and take some of this momentum back.
There's also something going into games, every single matchup, with that underdog mentality, and that's something that they've had to deal with throughout this season. So that gives you, you know, you play with a bit of a chip on your shoulder. You want to go out and prove what you're capable of, and we're seeing glimpses, really bright glimpses from them right now in what they can do in the attack when they play together, when they're on the same page, and when they have the bravery to just try it.
And of course, the Tides hoping to reward their fans here as well. It's been 7 straight matches without a win, going back to July the 7th. 4 draws and 3 defeats in that span. Attempt at goal. This will be Anna Karpenko goal kick in the 21st minute. Let's take a look at some fancy footwork here, Jess.
Woo, you love a Meg, or at least I love a Meg,
Hello.
Matt. I don't know about you, but she tries it again there on Jerem for a second time. But we spoke about Fremo's heart and how she wears it on her sleeve, but she also has those trickster feet that make her very fun to watch.
Some fancy footwork indeed. How can we not love that? I mean,
big fan of the Meg.
My soccer days were, I was mostly on the receiving end of those.
Oh no, Matt, don't tell people that.
I feel like you're more of the
person megging?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That might be the best compliment
I feel like
I've ever gotten.
That's a core part of your game. And then letting your opponent know about it as well after. I feel like Fremo's got a bit of that in her as well.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You got to be proud of it, right? You got to anger the person you just did it to.
Valorant back in the starting 11 as well. One of the 6 changes if you joined us late for the Halifax Tides. Slick pitch this evening. The cooler temperatures taken back by Hess.
And that's another reason, Matt, too, that Montreal, specifically a team that loves to really impose themselves by playing that ball out of the back and finding their midfielders. They have to be clean on the ball today with a slick surface. It's something that Rosatoyu also mentioned to us, how clean they have to be, how precise they have to be in their decisions, in their movements, and also recognizing, right, when you have a slick surface, wow, not purchase, I don't know where that came from, surface, really wanting to play that ball over the top when it's on, recognizing how it is going to be slick, how it's going to skip potentially, but sometimes that works in your favor.
So far, both these teams have had chances. Now it's the Roses' chance, and there's another good save from Toth. Some uncertainty there whether that was going to be a cross or a shot, and Toth reacting well again.
Continuing to show what we hyped her about in that pregame match. Whitaker does well to get this ball in, but owning her 6-yard box, strong hands, comes out and keeps that out of the danger zone, doesn't allow herself to be challenged at all by it.
And that's really been one of the characteristics that stood out over her strong play, particularly as of late, is her command in the air.
Yes, and as I said, as somebody that has watched her grow, that was something that a very timid young keeper, that wasn't her strong suit, and she has somehow turned one of her growth areas into her biggest strong suit, and that's really fun to see as both a former teammate, but also just as a soccer fan, seeing how that growth, how capable players are of that growth and how they can turn into bright stars.
Sauvé, ball into the middle, and off the bar! Off the bottom of the bar, it somehow stays out. And the foul is given against the Roses. Back-to-back opportunities for Montreal. And this time, Toth will have the woodwork to thank.
Sauvé's done really well in this fullback position to get forward and play balls into the box. You see here, it actually goes off of
Leslie.
But Boychuk is there to try to challenge that, but it does go off Leslie. A bit of a push there from Boychuk, as you see on her back.
Valeron. Montreal, Quebec native. Must be fun playing against your hometown. Certainly she'll know a few of the Roses players tonight. Started all 5 matches since signing with the Tides back in August. Last match was the first time not included in the starting 11. Allen is back in. Young's daughter. Right back to Gunny. Young's daughter puts a ball into the penalty area. Only a half clearance. Followed up, and Taylor skips this ball in, and it's another save for Karpenko. All sorts of opportunities in the first 25 minutes.
This is a good delivery in by Jan's daughter. Stephanie Hill gets it out, but Sarah Taylor is aware of where she needs to be. Top of the 18, nobody marking up on her. She has that time and space, doesn't strike it well enough to be able to challenge Karpenko, but she finds herself in the perfect position, and that's what they have to do. They have to find themselves in those positions and take advantage of those balls that are being coughed up.
Surprisingly, that is the first shot on target for the Tides here today. Hit the woodwork once and come close with Miller. Flight comes up for offside here. Boychuk 6 goals on the season. 4 assists, leads the team in goal contributions as well. Fremo and Cheram will do battle, and Cheram does well to get in front of Fremo. And Fremo too aggressive, and the free kick is given. Karpenko has to deal with the press coming from Cameron. Capadona. To Lees. Waugh. Unable to take the pass, taken back by Amanda Allen. Looks to strike towards goal. Just took a touch too long to do that as Hill was in good position.
been a bit of hesitancy in Amanda Allen's game so far. This game specifically, she's a player that has showed us that she has the ability to take that quick strike, make that quick decision, but she seems to be a little bit too in her head at moments when she has the quick pass, when she's able to strike. She has to find those moments and take advantage of them instead of taking that extra touch or taking that extra second to make the decision, because then Montreal is a team that is very compact. They will find ways to stop you.
Free kick to the Tides. Dodge here calling for the ball. It goes against Halifax here into touch. Long-time international midfielder for Iceland with over 100 caps for the island nation.
Big leader for them, somebody that has really helped keep them connected between lines, within lines, big vocal leader.
Missed a lot of time this year as well during the summer.
Yeah, she did, and you could feel her absence, right? She's a player that has a big absence in the middle of the park, and whether she's contributing and you're seeing her name on the goal sheet, but more so from this sense of keeping her team connected, that communication aspect. You can see her, she's always looking around to lead her teammates and holding them to a high standard, which is what you need specifically with your midfielders and somebody that's in the middle of the park with that experience.
Missed 6 weeks, unfortunately, for the Tides. When it corresponded with the height of the winless run. Came back early September, late August, early September. And it started 6 of 7 since coming back into being available for Stephen Hart. Hess will try and go around Fremo. Ball once again into touch. More pressure this time from Clegg. Big smile for Millie Clegg with the goal against the Vancouver Rise, her first in the NSL. But right now, Clegg will have to watch Whitaker. Andy Whitaker into the penalty area looking for Boychuk, plays it back, and has thought about the shot, might get a second opportunity, but too aggressive trying to go over the top.
It's a good idea. You see Boychuk with the recognition that she has back to goal. Whitaker looks up. She does find Boychuk's feet. She doesn't waste this ball. Again, recognition from Boychuk to lay that ball off, but Halifax is ready. You see Jonsdottir, you see Fremo, you see Taylor. They're all right there for Hess to not be able to allow her to strike on frame, which is what you need. That is exactly what they need. They need that resilience and that fight defensively.
In the middle, looking for Cameron. However, it's the Roses back in possession. Cheram, already a couple of goals on the season. Towards the middle, Cheram towards goal. Looking to the near post. Was hoping for a corner kick. However, the head official, Sama Flores de Rocher, doesn't agree.
This is a great ball through. You have both Boychuk as well as Cheram going. It looks like she hesitates, not sure if Boychuk's going to take over that ball. Just a second there where she takes a big touch. But she's somebody that has proven her quality, specifically in those tight spaces. She has shown that she can finish. But in those moments, you do want a bit more accuracy, Matt. You want to be able to at least put that on frame and test Toth.
Scored a brace in her first start in a victory against the Calgary Wild back earlier in the summer. Hasn't scored since then, has been given plenty of opportunity though, and has had an impact. She's played 90 minutes in 5 of the 7 contests that she's suited up for. Once again, Halifax, the next wave of this Tides attack. It is Amanda Allen. Looking at 2 Roses defenders. Fremo will put a ball into the penalty area. Does land for Millie Clegg. Ball set back post this time, headed on towards goal by Sarah Miller, and Karpenko is attentive to that.
We're seeing a lot of confidence from this Halifax side so far as the half continues in. Great ball across. Sarah Miller getting on that. She continues to be somebody that has been lighting up that final third for them. But again, Halifax looking like they really want it. They're looking for that first goal. They're searching for it. They're able to win the ball in the air. They're getting the balls into the box. Some good 1v1 battles going on.
Over a half hour behind us from Wanderers grounds in Halifax. One more home match to go for the Tides before the season wraps up. It'll be on October the 15th against the Ottawa Rapid. Another team that has not won, playing on this beautiful surface. Love the natural grass.
You are, but you're also seeing the difference in how teams are having to really adapt to it. We've seen it a couple times this matchup where Montreal's backline is struggling in the pace of the pass, and it's allowing Halifax to pounce and create something dangerous out of it. So they need to be sharp with their passing. They need to be very precise as well, because those are the moments that you're going to potentially cough up the ball and give your opponent a dangerous opportunity.
Miller will play back to Olai.
Definitely a natural grass over turf girl, Matt.
Okay, I think we can all agree with that.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
You'd be surprised.
Tides right now, free flowing into the penalty area, and it's another touch from Millie Clegg, and this time she comes up firing, frustrated she was not able to get that one on goal. Hit the woodwork earlier.
Valeron doing a great job at going forward, drawing players in, taking her space though, and finding Miller, who once again is able to find Clegg, who's making that front post run, but isn't able to get that in between the posts.
Well, she's been challenged by Stephen Hart and the Tides coaching staff to find that next gear. Yes, she's got a lot of tools and a lot of skills in the penalty area, but how can she be effective once the team starts to lock in on her, put on 2, 3 defenders? How can she be effective? And that's something that she continues to work on.
Yeah, and that adaptability and recognizing what a team is giving you. You have to know how to utilize your strengths. If your strengths are to come to the ball and spin a player, if it's that hold-up play and laying the ball off, if you're the player that's going to take that big touch and use your pace to get in behind. But it's just about recognizing what tools you have in your toolbox and being able to bring them out.
Here's a look at the shots so far here. 7 attempts at goal for the Tides, each team with 2 on target. Really a surprise that we haven't seen a goal yet. We've had the woodwork involved on multiple occasions here. Another attempt for Miller, and once again, a skipper into the keeper.
We've seen a few times now Miller's ball's going to that front post. She does have to be able to pull that out just a little bit. Her teammates are not able to get there, and it just goes into the hands of Karpenko. But she continues to show what she's capable of on that flank.
There's Tanya Boychuk into the penalty area. Leslie does well backtracking on that. Whitaker.
We spoke about the precision of Montreal as far as putting the ball in the back of the net, but that final action, whether it's a cross or a shot, does need to be cleaned up a little bit. Tanya Boychuk is somebody that has shown her quality in the final third time and time again, from both an assist standpoint as well as scoring those goals, but that has to be better, the decision and the ability to actually deliver the ball into her teammates that are making the runs into the box.
You're watching the Northern Super League presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. 0-0, 36th minute between Halifax and Montreal Roses. Big fan of Thursday nights, by the way. Little footy on Thursday night.
Yeah, who doesn't love it?
I'm okay with that. Get the weekend started early. We'll have the second and final match of this match week back out in Calgary, McMahon Stadium. AFC Toronto and the Calgary Wild will lock horns. It's on Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Ball into the penalty area, sent back towards goal. Miller is there, Miller has done it! Opening goal for the Tides! The first in 16 long matches. You can feel the momentum shift, and finally off of a set piece, the Tides find the back of the goal.
I mean, this has been Sarah Miller's path, so it's so great to see her be able to get on that. She does well to stay out of the pack there and collect that second ball. You see her teammates get up to challenge this. She's in the perfect spot. She does very well to keep that ball down and place it into that corner past Karpenko. You can the joy in her face, but absolutely a great half so far from her and a very well-deserved goal.
Always special playing at home. The Halifax native Sarah Miller nets her 3rd of the season. Last scored in early June. Always a threat, though, we mentioned that. And rewarded now, the patience paying off as the Tides open up the festivities this evening. That feeling can never get old.
No,
In front of your
definitely
hometown
not.
family, friends. Means a lot. And although Montreal has had its chances, you can really say that the Tide's deserving of the 1-0 lead here. However, Boychuk might have an answer for that. Leslie comes in, takes the ball away from the Montreal captain. 7 minutes to go before halftime. The Tide's looking for their 2nd straight lead at half.
And we've seen how the Tides have been sitting. They are making sure to have numbers up defensively. They're not allowing Boychuk to have the time and space to come off the front as she typically does, get that ball and be able to start creating things. So that final third has really been letting them down again as far as the final decision, whether it's the cross, whether it's the shot.
Ball is in, directed towards goal, and Cherem narrowly misses on the header. That ball was whipped in, and the Roses once again send a warning shot.
Sauvé continues to be somebody that makes a difference when she gets involved in the attack. This is a great ball in, and you see Cherem try to redirect that towards frame, but doesn't quite turn her shoulders enough, and that causes it to stay off of goal. She is in the right position. It's a great run, great delivery in, but there has to be, again, Matt, that clinical ability when you're in and around the 18, because those are the ones that haunt you in the end.
No goals in her last 5 for Kang Cherem, who has played 7 times this year for South Korea. 7 of her 42. Been playing international football since 2019. And right now might be back in business here. This is Hess. Towards goal. Jonsdottir tries to cut off. Ball into the middle, taken back by Taylor. And Miller has to be careful. Valeron will make sure this ball is away from goal. Montreal's been a much better away side. Just 2 defeats and 11 away from home. Stark comparison with the 5 defeats they've had in front of their fans at Stade Boreal. And if Montreal is able to come back and pick up all 3 points, they would be in sole possession of 2nd place with 2 matches to go in the NSL table. And of course, that is important. That playoff seeding, the home pitch advantage. Nobody's catching AFC Toronto, who have had a terrific second half.
Halifax is very tight and compact right now, which is making them very difficult to break down. That's where Montreal really needs to move the ball with pace, stretch them, force them to come out of their shape, and then play around them and break them down. But when they do sit, they're a difficult team to break down. They've really improved as far as their movement side to side, but pulling them out of shape is what's going to be key for Montreal, because you're seeing them sit very compact between their lines, and that's very difficult when you're Montreal trying to break them down running at their back line.
Ball played into the midfield, taken back by Allen. Fremont. Return to Olai. The Swedish center back will slow the pace for a moment before sending ahead. So they did have a good start on that ball, but into touch again. Clegg, 1-on-3. And the Tides will retain possession. 20 points separate these two sides in the Northern Super League table. You wouldn't know it with the way Halifax has played here for the first 42 minutes.
No, you wouldn't, and I think that just, proves the quality that they do have. They haven't been able to really ignite that flame all season long and bring it together, but they are starting to find their footing a little bit too late in the season, but it's great to see the growth, and you want to finish off on a strong note, Matt. Take those small victories. Every matchup, there's small victories that you're able to walk away with, and that's something that Halifax is looking to do as these games wind down.
Miller, the goal scorer tonight. Capitona sends that away. Taken by Ali Hess. Wah looking for Boychuk. Leslie is there again. Just a half stride ahead of Tanya Boychuk.
You're just seeing the numbers, Matt. Boychuk's there all alone. Ball getting sent up, but Halifax is ready. They don't have numbers coming forward at a quick enough pace for Montreal right now. Boychuk is very much isolated up there when she receives the ball.
Couple of minutes to go before halftime in Halifax. Once again, the Tides attacking. Miller towards goal, quickly cut off.
Well done by Lees.
Bilbao. Two longtime internationals, Jonsdotter and Charlotte Bilbao. Exchanging a few pleasantries there in the midfield area. As the Roses push for something late in this first half. It's Hill. Ball again forward, just on the edge of the penalty area. Bilbao to Haley Whitaker. To the penalty area, back to Bilbao. Think about that strike towards goal, and it is handled nicely by Toth, who leads the league this year in catches. It's been great in the air, as we mentioned earlier in the half.
Not enough behind that to really test her. You see her scoop that up pretty comfortably.
Looking at 1 minute of stoppage time as Olai steps in front of that pass. Whitaker and Miller will meet.
The fourth official is indicating there will be a minimum of 1 minute of added time.
So we do have that 1 minute of added time from the Halifax native Ali Martin, fourth official for the match today. Boychuk will be whistled on the foul.
We're seeing the fight that we typically do see in Tanya Boychuk. She's somebody that loves to compete, but a bit too much in that one.
Whitaker. Final seconds here of half number one in the Canadian Atlantic tonight. Ball for Sauvé into touch. That pass several yards in behind. And Salma Flores de Rocher will say that is the end for the first 45 minutes. Third NSL goal for Sarah Miller off of a set piece. And it is the Tides playing on their home grass in front of their home fans. They have a 1-0 lead.
Sarah Miller stepped up big for them, but you saw that fire in their attack and how bad they wanted it. They were very resilient. They were staying compact defensively, which were making it very difficult for the Roses to break them down. But the Roses really need to go in there in that second half. They need to be able to focus on what needs to be done, clean up the simple things, that final pass, that strike on frame, but also just get used to the surface. You're seeing that surface get to them just a little bit as far as being able to stay clean in their passing. So definitely need to find a way to impose their play in the second half.
Our halftime show is on the way, and stay with us. A major announcement today from the Northern Super League. We'll have that right after this short break.
Just a concept or idea on a napkin, but 2 years ago it didn't even have teams.
Looking for the strike. Oh!
Now that's a finish. Northern Super League. It will transcend the sport, the Northern Super League, for years to come.
So excited to introduce the Diana B. Matheson Cup. Starting with the NSL final on November 15, it will be awarded to our league champion. A symbol of excellence and the relentless spirit of the women who made this league possible. Diana never asked for this honor, but across the league and every club, there was no question this trophy had to carry her spirit and her name. We can't wait to see it lifted for the first time on November 15th, and for it to become a symbol of pride for every player, every club, every supporter, and every Canadian who believes in the power of this game.
Welcome back to the Maritimes. It is halftime. You're watching the Northern Super League presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. And how about that? The big news today, the unveiling of the Diana B. Matheson Cup to be awarded to the first ever league champions. I love it.
I love it too. Big fan.
Let's take a look at our first half highlights here, because there's a lot to unpack here, Jess. So take a big breath and let's get after it here. It's the Roses starting out first.
Yeah, this wasn't the best half for the Roses as far as them being able to create in the final third, but this was a great opportunity by Whitaker. She's able to bring this ball down, and she releases it quick, and it does test Toth, but Toth comes up big. But this is something that was a bit of a story for that first half, Matt. Miller was coming up big. She gets this ball into the box. It goes straight off the post. Millie Clegg getting into a great position to be able to get there and redirect it. Yeah, I definitely thought that was going into the back of the net. What a great opportunity from them. Great build-up play. This is another chance where you're seeing them get that ball out to Miller. She takes her space and she strikes that. She isn't able to hit it on frame. It does go wide, but she's able to collect that second ball. You see Jonsdottir there collecting it confidently, playing it to Miller, and Miller trying to get that curl, but there's not enough to be able to keep it in the back of the net.
The stress and then the encouragement, but the Roses did have a bit of a punch back here. Sauvé had a great first half, and this one, a little help from the goaltender's best friend.
Yes, it definitely came up big there. The crossbar, almost an own goal, caught Toth off guard.
This is more Jonsdottir putting the ball back into the penalty area, and Sarah Taylor coming up and forcing Karpenko into another save, as we've seen the Tides really threaten inside the penalty area here.
And it's great positioning by Taylor, recognizing that that ball is going to drop there. She collects it very confidently. But this is where you want Cherem to be able to come up big, and she scored in chances like this, but she isn't able to keep this on frame. A bit of hesitancy there. She comes back across her body, but she turned her hips a little bit too much, and that forces the ball to go wide. But on the other end, Matt, you have, again, the Tides wanting to be able to collect every ball that's in the box. Miller coming up big again and heading that ball towards frame. There wasn't much behind it as far as being able to test Karpenko, but winning that first ball, getting on that cross is everything. And then obviously it leads to this beauty of a goal. Great ball in, and Miller stays out of the pack and then is able to collect that second ball, strikes it into that far back post just to beat Karpenko and put her team ahead. But a fantastic half from Miller specifically, and the Tides really looking to ignite that flame coming into the second half as well. Montreal needing to clean it up to really impose themselves in the game.
Miller's third of the season in the 36th minute, the only scoring so far. It is Montreal leading in possession, but it is the Tides in total shots as well. It has been a chippy affair as well, 12 total fouls between the two teams here as well. 45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go on this Thursday night in Halifax. It is the Tides hoping for a home win. They're halfway there, leading the Roses by a 1-0 after the first half. Only one other game in match week 25, and it's on Saturday on CBC. First place AFC Toronto, the first regular season champions in NSL history, head west to McMahon Stadium to take on the Calgary Wild. That's a 4 p.m. Eastern start. And prior to the game, CBC host Andy Petrillo caught up with AFC Toronto star Esther Okoronkwo.
Joined by our top forward, Esther Okoronkwo. It is so great to have on the show Esther Okoronkwo of AFC Toronto, I should say. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me here.
Listen, you've been having yourself quite the year. Before we talk about international duty, we have to get to the Northern Super League and what AFC Toronto has been able to accomplish. For the longest time now, you've been holding on to top spot. You clinched a playoff berth, and then you officially clinched top spot in the standings, which is being called the Supporters Shield. How did that feel?
Honestly, it feels great. It feels amazing because we know we've been working really hard for it, and to finally see what our hard work that's paid off. We only found out whenever we were on the road back from our last game, and we did a little celebration on the bus. We stopped somewhere and then celebrated, but I'm sure there'll be more celebrations coming.
What makes the team special? I mean, I know sometimes it's hard to kind of put your finger on one thing, but when a team so far has been doing so well, it's like one of those you can finish each other's sentences type of things. But I'm sure it didn't start out that way, right? Brand new team, brand new league. Can you take us through the journey of how Toronto got to where it is right now?
I think for me, it's just more about togetherness, not just only on the field or training, also outside the field, and make sure you hang out with your teammate, get to know them, get to know what they like. I think that builds a lot of chemistry on and off the field.
Okay, so we have to know then, where do we hang out? Where are some favorite places?
Exactly. Favorite coffee place, favorite spot to eat, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have one?
Yeah. I not coffee because I'm not like a coffee girl, but there's this restaurant that's like not very far from me. It's called Joey's. So it's like a good place. You heard it? You heard of it?
I've heard of Joey's.
Yeah, it's so good. Have you been?
I sure have.
Yeah. Do you like it, or is it just me?
No, I am a big fan of Joey's. They have like a nice like farmer's market salad that I quite enjoy.
Yes.
Fries you can never go wrong with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I feel you on that one. I don't know if it's because I'm older and I'm just out of the loop, but you have been posting a lot of videos of putting random things as shin guards. Like I think you put noodles where there are remote controls. Like what is the story behind this?
I can't really explain it, but it's more like, you know, what I'm feeling that day. Like the remote control, if I feel like I want to go control the game that day, I wear a remote control and control the game. That's just how it is for me. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, but then what's up with like the Mr. Noodles or something? Like what?
Oh, the noodle one was if I get a little hungry and you know, after the game I could just get one out, you know, have a little bite and then continue.
This is so random and it's so funny because like I have to see what you're gonna do on that day, but now I understand. It kind of tells you the mood that you're in a little bit.
Exactly.
Okay, that'll be a game we play. Try to figure out what kind of mood Esther's in before a game. You know, you're somebody who can show up on the score sheet, whether it's scoring goals or assisting. And if we go to your international career and we look at this past summer, and, you know, I read somewhere that at halftime, when you went into the room with Nigeria, you're in the final of WAFCON, and you're like, I don't care that we're down 2-0. Like, there's an ability to come back here. Can you take us to that moment, like in the room, and how you kind of went into turbo mode and, of course, ended up becoming crowned champions because you won 3-2?
Yeah. No, it was kind of like, you know, even leading up to the finals, like we didn't really concede the goal. And so just coming with Morocco conceded and 2 goals in the first half, and also knowing like it should have been avoided, we shouldn't have conceded that. But it's football, you know, things happen, and also having in the back of our mind that we can't lose this game. This is not a game we should lose. Like we're so much better as a team. We just have to find it, and we were able to go back to the locker room in the second half and talked about it, and then came back with the flame.
Well, you're champions. You get a party at the presidential estate. I mean, like, how does it feel to be champions of WAFCON?
Yeah, it's my first, because back in 2022 I couldn't make it. I literally tore my ACL right before the tournament, and that, you know, crushed my dreams, like broke my heart. But I knew going forward, like I promised myself, plus like I've never really had like a professional career where I finished the whole season without any injury at all ever since I started. So like after my second ACL, I told myself like this is it. Like when I come back, it will be a comeback for me, and I'm glad that like my dreams are, you know, finally coming true. So.
Knock on wood, yes, because you still have you've got a season to go here, as far as you know, qualifying for the postseason. And just even, you know, maybe before we let you go, you mentioned it's been quite the journey for you, you know, starting in Nigeria, going to Texas. Now here you are playing in Canada. Is there anybody or just any moment that you remember that really kind of helped you along this journey?
Yeah, no, everyone I ever came across, to be honest, you know, God put good people in my life for a reason, and I'm very grateful.
Well, it's been great watching you play. You are very entertaining to watch out there, and can't wait to see what AFC Toronto can do in the postseason. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, of course. Thanks for having me.
And you can watch AFC Toronto with Esther Okoronkwo playing in Calgary against the Wild on Saturday afternoon. We are set for kickoff of the second half here at Wanderers grounds, with the Tides holding a 1-0 lead. looking for a first home win since July the 7th, and underway in half number 2. A festive atmosphere on this Thursday night. It's always great to be along. Side you, Jess Lisi, former Canadian Youth International. My name is Matt Cullen. First of 2 matches on this match week. And so far the Tides taking care of business at home. The wins have been relatively few and far between. Much fewer than they would have liked, but it's an opportunity here to try and pick up 3 points against a playoff-bound side.
Yeah, in that first half, they were able to do very well. You saw them be able to impose themselves in the final third, not only because they were able to score that goal, Matt, but just also the creation of what they had. You saw them getting balls into the box. Miller specifically really lighting up that flank, getting balls into the box, being able to strike on frame, finding themselves in positions to create dangerous opportunities, and that's what they need to continue to do. But defensively, they also did really well at disrupting Montreal's build-up play in those moments, staying very tight and compact. So you can see that resilience from them. You can see them sort of have that fire ignited under them to finish this season off strong.
2 more matches to go for both of these teams before the end of the regular season in the Northern Super League. And here's Cameron, a ball in. It's a quick opportunity for the Tides. And Tiffany Cameron hangs her head knowing that that could have been the 2-0 goal.
She's going to want that one back, but that was a fantastic ball through from, I believe Taylor played that ball, but perfectly weighted, just the right amount of spin where it's able to get in behind that Montreal back line right into Cameron.
Tides have won a free kick here. Will give us an opportunity, Jess, to look at this opportunity.
Yeah, you see here, Taylor looks up, great ball through. It has just the right amount of spin that it gets around Capadona and straight into Cameron's feet, not hit too hard. But Cameron needs to be better in that 18-yard box, needs to be able to pass that by Karpenko.
Well, right now, look at this set piece here. Leslie, the center back. Hand raised, left boot to ball. Right into the penalty area. It is a good ball, headed back in. Bouncing around dangerously. Karpenko is able to snare it. That had danger written all over it.
It's a great delivery into the box. And you see there Cameron getting up to challenge it. Montreal able to get their head on that and Karpenko to collect.
It has been a physical start to the second half, particularly down this near side. Miller's been involved, Cameron. Finally played back, and Leslie will reorganize. Two saves for Annika Toth in that first half. This is Millie Clegg, New Zealand international. Scored once for country and once for club this year. Came very close in that first half, hitting the woodwork. Got a couple of chances. Ball sent forward. Cameron lunges at it. Capadona, however, recovers nicely. Karpenko will send away, but into touch. Battle on quickly on the throw. Leslie and Olai. Fremo led the Tides with 47 touches in that first half in her return to the starting 11 for the first time in 3 games. Hess in the middle, being challenged by Clegg and Amanda Allen. Miller. Back to Taylor. Jan's daughter. Halifax looking for that way through.
Well defended by Miller.
Here's Taylor looking to combine with Clegg. Taylor does well to stay on the ball, but just gets the signals crossed with Millie Clegg. And the Roses back in possession. The Tide's really up for a fight, pressing early on here in the second half.
seeing those passes right now, Matt. They're just not coming together. The Tides are doing well to disrupt any sort of buildup that Montreal has, not allowing them to get too far forward, really keeping them compact and stuck in their own half.
Five minutes into half number 2. Clegg backtracking this time. Taylor. Valeron really with no options there. Taken back by Bilbao with Boychuk. And the flag comes up for offside. And again, we just see the Roses haven't really just been in sync to the first 50 minutes here of the match.
There was a couple of things in that. Specifically, you see Bilbao play that ball. There's a lot of pace on it. She looked like she was sending more of a through ball. Boychuk wanted it to feet. That's why that touch was quite heavy from Boychuk. But as you said, not holding that run, not on the same page. They're just lacking a little bit of that connection that we're typically used to seeing from them with a very fluid attack. That's typically how you would describe Montreal as far as their movements off the ball. They're all very hungry to want to get on it and usually quite in sync.
Lots of time, though, to get back into this match. Roses have had really good stints in terms of their attacking. Before the 2-0 loss to the Wild, they outscored their opponents 7-0 over 2 games. Wins over Calgary and Halifax, 5-0 and 2-0 respectively.
We're seeing how slick the surface is as well. Players constantly losing their footing even when they don't have the ball.
Gotta double check those cleats.
Maybe it's a good day to wear some 6 studs.
It's gonna say. Whitaker will try and bring the Roses back level. Hess in the middle, contested there. Clegg done a good job drawing back in, making life difficult for the Montreal midfielders. Cameron has to weave her way through a difficult stretch in terms of Montreal players. On the ball again. Miller looks forward, here's Clegg. Amanda Allen is there as well.
I believe that actually was Allen, Matt, that came back and was able to break up that play. Tiffany Cameron staying as that outlet up top. But well done from her to be able to come back.
Valeron goes down, foul is given. And that looked like a painful one. Mays has had to fight for every ball down that flank. Yeah, Valeron just wants to walk this off.
Yeah, definitely feeling that one in her lower back.
Will be a yellow card here. First of the match.
You see her a bit late from her, no contact on the ball. She does end up making contact with Valeron, who lands quite hard.
Third yellow card of the season for the Virginia native, Julia Lees. Once again will be Leslie over top of this free kick. Looking at Cameron, finally sent back. Taylor in the middle. Pressure comes from Felicia Watt, and the Roses now on the attacking side of half. No chances taken from Leslie here. Ball into touch.
There also just seems to be a slight lack of urgency in Montreal's attack, and that's not something that you can typically say about them. They always bring that energy on both sides of the ball, Matt, but today it's lacking a little bit as far as not only that connection, but just the urgency in wanting to get forward, getting numbers forward.
Ball through the legs. This is tricky from the Roses. Ball is in, sent away quickly by Miller. That had some real promise to it on that far side. Cameron will play back, looking for Frémaux. Frémaux under pressure from Ali Hess. And Olai also no room to clear cleanly. Perhaps the Roses heard you, Jess. That urgency starting to come back. This is towards goal, but wide of the target. 10 minutes into half, and we might have another one of your favorite plays here. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. It's well done by Sauvé. And this is, despite it not coming off, this is a great delivery. She does cut that ball back. That's where you want runners crashing. And I've mentioned this a few times on games, Matt, but it's not about getting into the box and just, you know, simply saying you were in the box. It's about having purpose. You're seeing there that slick surface getting the best of Toth.
Yeah, certainly that one the most noticeable.
So this is a game that requires you to be clean with your touches and be precise in your passing, but also allows you in the attack to take some risk. When you're striking a ball and you're keeping it on deck, it's going to have an extra skip. You never know if it's going to be able to go your way, so you have to take those risks as well and try to keep that ball on the deck at times.
Bilbao will play out to Julia Lees. Some good footwork against Miller. Forward to Bilbao, Whitaker. Haley Whitaker, Charlotte Bilbao joining. Valeron does well. And now pushes that ball into touch. Off of Whitaker. There's some activity along the Montreal touchline. Perhaps Robert Rosatoya looking for a change, although the Roses have been a little bit better as of late in terms of the attacking side of the match. As Toth makes sure this one goes over half. Allen does have Frémaux. Amanda Allen towards the middle. And Amanda Allen nowhere really to go except for backwards there. Jonsdottir. Out wide. Ball's in. Good cross. Cameron towards goal. Picked up by Clegg. Takes a touch towards goal. And some nervous defending there for the Roses, as Millie Clegg couldn't really get a handle on that ball. Goes for a corner kick.
This is a great ball into the box. You saw the Roses thinking that Jonsdottir was offside, but Cameron does well to challenge this. And then the Roses are lucky that that ball took a bit of a strange bounce where Millie Clegg wasn't able to get a strike off of it too early. You see the Roses try to recover there, and Lees ends up kicking it out for a corner kick. But Halifax wanting that. You're seeing the numbers in the box. You're seeing them challenge those aerial balls and collecting that second ball as well, Matt.
First corner kick of the match comes in the 59th minute. It's a high arcing ball, back post.
It's well defended by Stephanie Hill.
Roses do have some height in their side. Frémaux comes up, trying to put that towards goal. Bilbao will try and counter. Chipped forward. Jonsdottir does well to defend that. Valeron battles there with Bilbao, and Bilbao will return. As the Tides have not really found their shape after that set piece. Taylor, good challenge. Cherim takes the ball back from Taylor. Cherim into the penalty area towards goal. It just took one touch too many. And the Tides defend that well. Clegg and Allen in hot pursuit. Another physical encounter. Jonsdottir goes down. Ball picked up by Bilbao. And this will be a free kick to the Montreal Roses, as the yellow card will come out for Julianne Valeron. I'll have to take another goes at Allen.
Yeah, just a bit of a grip there on the back of Bilbao. I think Valeron actually ended up kicking that ball away, Matt, and that's where that yellow card came from.
Number 3, Haley Whitaker. Entering the match is number 19, Lori Tebow, and number 15, Chloe Lees.
So there's the change. Whitaker and Felicia Waugh will head over into the bench area. Chloe Minas comes in for her 5th appearance. 2 straight starts prior to this match. And Laurie Thibault, the Blainville, Quebec native, will be in for some second half duty, 30 minutes of work. Set piece. Jerem played that ball forward, but it's read perfectly by Sarah Miller. And Miller, who's already scored once tonight, may just have a chance to do some more damage. Ball played in, it's too far for Clegg. Jonsdottir will follow up, and it's on goal, and Karpenko calmly makes the save.
Spoke about finding footing on this surface, Matt, and the precision and how you need to deliver that ball, and that pass from Cherem is just not good enough. You have to be able to connect, specifically when you have a set piece and you want to be able to make the most of it, but instead it ends up going back down the other way, and Miller does really well.
Yeah, that's a worst case scenario there.
Yes, absolutely, and you saw that firepower coming forward for Halifax. Miller not sure what to do, trying to pick her moment. You know, you're going to see it here, just a poor pass, but she reads this so well, Miller, showing her IQ, showing her hard work. She drives forward, she looks up, she recognizes that it's really only one defender there. She tries to play Clegg. Montreal's able to get back, get numbers in the box, and the pass is just overhit. Jonsdottir not able to get that back across frame.
While we were showing you that, a free kick going the Roses' way. This time it's played back to Lucy Capadona. Lees does have to be careful with that yellow card. Cherem.
Miller again, well done from her. Doing that defensive work.
Battle between the 2 number 11s there. Lees again. Back in the middle for Hess. Bilbo takes this pass, ball is in. And again, just doesn't quite end up in the penalty area where she would have liked. Some more pressure from Montreal, but just missing that extra little piece here tonight so far. Capadona and Hill will try and reorganize the Roses.
And I think the addition of Chloe Minas, she's a player that has obviously come into the mix late, but she brings a lot of calm energy to her team. She finds those gaps really well. Her movement off the ball she's shown to be very good at that. So she's somebody that can add a little bit of that calm in the attack and be an outlet for them, but also help open things up and switch that point of attack when it's on, play those quick combination plays, as well as strike from distance, because we've seen her do that.
Ball played into the top of the penalty area again. It's sent away by Allen. One back by the Roses. Laurie Thibault in her first encounter puts the ball into the penalty area, and Monica Toth does well there. A couple of players charging down on her, brave to make sure there's no extra opportunity. And the Tides are now less than a half hour away from putting it into a 12-match winless run. And put some damage into Montreal's hope for home field advantage in the playoffs. Foul is given against the Roses here.
Looks like Thibault and Fremont might have got a little bit tangled up there.
Toth, who's played all 5 matches against Montreal this year, finds Allen. Some good footwork there from Amanda Allen. Miller. His goal in the 36th minute right now is the difference between these two sides. Jonsdottir and Miller combine. Lees goes down, ball into touch. Here's Vatterall.
So Nice footwork there.
Off of the training pitch with you there, my friend.
Yeah, she learned that all from me, Matt.
There you go.
Thank you for that credit. Absolutely, all me.
That's it. That's it. Here's Miller back to Valorant. The Tide's threatening. Valorant towards goal. It's a fine block there. Second opportunity, Taylor. Top of the penalty area looking at Clegg. Clegg was well detected. Taylor's pass. Thibault intercepts. And the Tides will now have to reset. Minas did a good job defending there as well for Montreal. It's been effective since coming in. Penko needs to be careful. Does make the right decision. Sharon back into the middle. Minas. All played in front of goal. One back again by the Tides. Allen does have numbers. Cameron on top of the penalty area. Ball comes out wide to Sarah Miller. Good stint to play from Halifax here. Attempt at goal from Miller. And it's a save again from Karpenko.
It's a good idea from Miller. You see that she has just enough time and space between her and Lees to take that touch and strike. She doesn't get enough power behind it to really test Karpenko, but that is the right decision.
Here's Hess leading the charge again. Hess will deliver. Cheram on this far side. Youngsdaughter does well to slide in front. The follow-up comes from Hess. Valorant does well defending there as well. Needed to be careful. Capadona realizes that Roses have numbers forward. Hill will play back into the middle. Cheram looks at Thibault now running down the right side of the pitch. Here's Laurie Thibault into the penalty area. Struck on, and it is the equalizer. In the 68th minute, Charlotte Bilbao has the Roses level in Halifax.
Despite it not being their cleanest performance offensively, Matt, they find a way to score, and that's what good teams do. They find ways to finish. It's a great ball in by Thibault. She finds Bilbao, who confidently steps up and just chips that over top of Toth. A bit of a frustrating one, you can see from the Halifax Tides, but well done from Bilbao. Good positioning, great run into the box, the timing, the delivery straight onto her foot, and then ultimately being able to finish that and put it in the back of the net.
Double substitution made directly after the goal as Gunny Youngsdaughter comes out. Same with Amanda Allen. Sid Kennedy back in the team for some second half duty. Wasn't available last week. It's a big loss for the Tides, but Kennedy brings a lot of intensity and a lot of pace. And also Karima Lemire, who has started 18 of 21 matches for the Tides this year, will come in for, why don't we call it 20, 25 minutes off the bench here. Given away by the Tides. It's Hess again. Hess will look at Taylor, stride on, and this will be a corner kick for the first time tonight for the Roses. Bilbao, the longtime French international, second goal of the season. Only goal prior to tonight, back on June the 7th against the Vancouver Rise. That was a 2-0 home win that day for Bilbao's Roses. And I feel like we got a real good French connection there. Thibault to Bilbao.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tongue twister for me.
That's one you want to put up there. It's a good marketing slogan.
It's true, it is.
Some pushing and shoving around the penalty area, and the head referee will come in and deal with that. Now finally sent it towards goal. Toth is all spun around, and the Tides appealing for a call, and they do get it.
Looks like she was pulled down or something. Let's take another look at it. She does come out to challenge that. It looks like she just gets caught up. Boychuk slipping, losing her her footing, and it looks like she just grabs on a little bit to Annika Toth there.
Miller looking to make amends after her side conceded the tying goal moments ago. Here's Miller. Ball is in. Oh, it's brilliant! Sarah Miller, the brace.
Goodness.
What a strike! What a match for Sarah Miller, and the Tides lead again.
It has been Miller Day, Matt. That was a fantastic finish. Such a great effort. So confident driving forward. You see her deal with the physicality of Lees, spins inside and finds that top right corner, curls it in there, just the right amount of strike behind that. What an absolutely brilliant finish from her. Wow.
Goals 3 and 4 on the season for Sarah Miller. Just a terrific strike, and it's almost an immediate response. It's Miller time in Halifax.
It is Miller time, that's for sure.
This match has really found another gear in the second half. But the Roses now with Minas, that ball just a tad too heavy. Look more inspired than ever to try and get back into this. Well, we can put that goal safely up on the goals of the year candidate. The highlight reel.
Great individual effort. Honestly, it was all her. From the moment she got on the ball, she was going to make something happen, whether she was getting that ball into the box or striking on frame, and she was able to show us some of that quality that we've been talking about so much.
Tides have really been relentless in this match. Shots in this half alone, 10-2 and 4-1 on target.
I think that tells a pretty good story as far as what we've been seeing, Matt. It's quite accurate. They've created a lot going forward. They've had that hunger that's needed from them in the attack. You're seeing the individual efforts as well as connecting as a team, finding some fluidity. Montreal's been struggling with that exact thing, trying to find that connection, the simple things, the simple pass. It's not quite coming together for them as of yet.
Sent back and now sent away. Will be the manager, Robert Rostatoye, trying to get things moving. Miller, the only Tides player to play in every single match so far this year. Has found the brace. Ball is in and dealt with by Annika Toth. Looking back through some notes here, it's the first time since June the 10th that Halifax has scored multiple goals. Happened to be a 2-1 win on that day.
Cherim doing well there, some shifty footwork, and strikes out on frame with her left boot, but not enough for Toth to drop. She does well to collect that.
Cherim again, back-to-back opportunities, and this time there's no mistake. A rocket into the back of the goal for Cherim. Tied at 2.
Aren't we blessed to see 2 back-to-back beautiful goals? That's a fantastic finish. Hess does well here, finds Cherim, and a quick release, very well struck, right over top of Toth. Just makes absolutely no mistake. Strikes that so well, finishes right through the ball. That is what we have been looking for, Matt.
Third of the season for the South Korean international, and first in 5 matches after notching a brace against the Calgary Wild. So what could be next here over the next quarter of an hour? A 2-2 barn burner.
It's just a lot of back and forth right now, which big fan of these games. They're interesting, they're fun. You're seeing two teams that want to win. A lot of resilience from both sides right now. Montreal starting to find their footing in moments when they need to, but they still need to overall clean it up, find that connection. So hopefully that changes for them as this game continues on.
It's Jerem again. Into the penalty area. Looking for Bilbao, the two Montreal goal scorers right now. Going to work down this right side. Capadona plays back Hill. Quickly intercepted by the Tides. We'll really have to dig deep to try and find a third. Sid Kennedy down the right side has yet to be involved in this match. Taking back Clegg. Click a couple of changes on the way. Megumi Nakamura, who now has a joint lead with Sarah LeMiller with 4 goals on the season for the Tides. And the 19-year-old Sofia Cedeno, who joined partway through the summer, set to come in as well, but not yet. Another pass missed here by the Roses. Now we will turn to the 4th official, Ali Martin.
Substitution for the Halifax Tides in the 77th.
As Sarah Taylor will come out from the Halifax midfield.
Sarah Taylor entering the match, number 36, Sofia Cedeno.
And Tiffany Cameron. A good shift for the Jamaican international.
Substitution for the Halifax Tides.
It will be the Nagano, Japan native Nakamura coming in.
Entering the match, number
2-2 tie.
Both Nakamura as well as Cedeno have been players that have really helped to create in the attack for Halifax. They're both very lively players. They got great feet and skill set and high IQ as well. So those are two players that I think they're looking to change this game, get that 3rd goal, Matt.
Well, Halifax has not scored 3 in a single match this year. I was saying earlier, the last time they scored 2 was back here at Wanderers grounds in a 2-1 win over the Ottawa Rapid. Gunny Yunsdottir put the ball in the back of the net for the winning goal on that night. But there could just be a third here for one of these teams, the way the game has been going lately. Valeron steps in front of that pass. Julianne Valeron has Miller to the left, but will carry towards the middle. Looks for the strike towards goal, and that just misses. Karpenko didn't move initially, and that ball comes dangerously close to going in the back of the goal again.
See Valeron getting forward, cuts across, continues to dribble across the 18 and strike that back to across her body. From this angle, Matt, it definitely looked like it was going to hit the back of the net, but well done from her. She takes what's given to her, she takes that space, and it catches Karpenko off guard a little bit.
Yeah, it does take a deflection into a corner kick as well. You can see the sigh of relief there from Karpenko, and that one just missed. So 79th now, 80th minute. Another corner kick for the Tides. Ball is in, not dealt with, it's there for the taking. Finally Hess sends it away. Taken back by the substitute. Cedeno. Quickly cut off though by the Roses, who will not be keen to concede a third. Cedeno though, does well for Nakamura. And played back to Lemire. The Montreal native, Karima Lemire, to Miller, who has the brace for the Tides tonight. Ball into the middle. Dealt with nicely there and sent away. Boychuk held up for just a second. Tanya Boychuk not to be denied, runs back onto the ball with 10 minutes to go before stoppage time in Halifax.
And Halifax has done well to deal with Boychuk tonight. She's typically a player that loves to come off the front and really hold up that ball, lay it off, spin out, make those runs in behind. They haven't given her enough time and space to really make a massive impact on this matchup, and that's not something we're typically used to seeing from Tanya Boychuk. She's usually one of the focal points as far as what we're talking about, Matt, from this Montreal side.
Still 10 minutes to go to make a difference. Fermo will have a look around. We'll play back to Toth. Back again to the Tide's keeper, under pressure this time, and very close to giving the ball away. Now it is Hess. Ball into the middle for Bilbao. It's right there for Boychuk, and just a half yard too far. As finally the Montreal press almost rewarded. Jerem's ball, this time dealt with and sent away.
That was close. As I'm speaking about Boychuk and her impact, she has an opportunity, but that just goes off the outside of the boot of Bilbao and takes a bit of a weird spin. Combined with the surface, makes it very difficult for Boychuk to be able to connect with it.
I'm telling you, they have a direct line to your microphone here.
You're seeing here, Hess does well to apply that pressure. You see there, it just goes off the outside of the boot and takes a bit of a weird curve away from Boychuk, where she isn't able to step forward and get that into the back of the net.
Entering the match is number 14, Claire
Hess will come off. Big shift today for Ali Hess. And Claire Monyard will come in for her 22nd appearance of the season. Appeared in every match except for one. For the Roses, Cherem wins the ball back from Minas. Foul is given. Montreal yet to concede 3 goals in a single match this year. Halifax yet to score 3, so we could be bordering on a first here, but the Roses perhaps will be kicking themselves to not be up a goal in this comeback effort. Down a goal at halftime. Back on level ground at Wanderers grounds. Ball is in for Miller, headed towards goal, just didn't have the pace this time to direct that past the keeper.
It's difficult when you have a ball coming in, but it's not whipped in to be able to find any sort of power to test a keeper. She does well to get her head on that, but you're not going to have enough behind it.
All right, Tides fans, it's time for tonight's 50-50 draw. Get your tickets out. The lucky winner will receive $1,403. And the winning number is B1894.
So 84th minute.
That's
If the scoreline does stand,
94.
Montreal would be level with Ottawa on points. But Montreal, given the fact that they won the season series, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a single loss, the Roses would move ahead into that second position over the Ottawa Rapid.
I was a little distracted there, Matt. I was looking at my ticket number.
Looking at the 50-50. They take their 50-50 very seriously on the East Coast.
I mean, I was checking my ticket number. I was hoping I had
Why
that
not?
winning ticket.
The Roses will be checking the standings, crunching the numbers. Well, still 2 matches to go, so some time, of course, to separate and try and really knock down and level in on that second position.
Nice turn by Monyard.
Boychuk again with Lemire, shoulder to shoulder. 5 minutes to go. And change before stoppage time. Been a good battle between these 2 teams. Halifax is able to find the winner. They would win the season series against the Roses. That's something that also came up with Stephen Hart. That would be nice, to quote him directly.
Yeah, I mean, and we spoke, Matt, about small victories, and that would be something that would be more than a small victory. Of course, we know that this is not a team that's going to the playoffs, but you have to be able to look at those small things and celebrate them, and that would definitely be something massive for them. The fact that you said if they're able to score 3, that's something that they've never done before. Even being able to score 2 today is already something they should be very proud of, and they've put in a very good performance overall.
Jerem looking for the Roses' third. Ball is in, and it will be a Montreal corner kick as Valorant wonders why there's not more support around. The Roses now will have a set piece in the late stages here. And this is, of course, where that big moment of quality can come in.
Set pieces absolutely have the ability to change the entire game. We've seen it happen multiple times this season, so many teams being able to capitalize on those set pieces. So this is a big moment for them.
Minas, the substitute, will look at this corner kick. Numbers in the penalty area up top, headed on towards goal and headed away. Kennedy plays back to Miller, and Miller, no chances taken here, puts this into touch. Ball up and away again. The sprint from Clegg will push the ball back to Karpenko. Lees looks at Jerem. Had the tying goal 10 or so minutes ago. The rocket of a shot. 73rd minute. Here's Thibault. Lays off. Back into the middle, taken back up by Nakamura. Tides have been spending the last few minutes just defending rather than attacking. Nakamura dragged down, and that will be a free kick. Monyard will be shown a yellow card for her trouble as well.
Also done well to disrupt Montreal's build-up, and you're seeing those little passes. It's mistakes that are really letting Montreal down right now, and how they're able to find each other and connect a pass.
Well, big night for Sarah Miller, the first brace in Halifax Tides history. And the first one came here on the second phase of the set piece.
Yeah, remarkable night for her. She came up massive for her team, not once, but twice. This one, my favorite by far, but such a great individual effort, and make sure to make it known that she is somebody that you have to watch out for. You can't give her that time or space, but definitely was Miller time tonight, Matt.
Miller time indeed will be Daphne Blouin, the Quebec City native. There we go, the hometown faithful became ready with that one. Go number 11, excuse me. So Blouin for the first time since August the 16th. Did score earlier against the Roses, and this will be a Halifax free kick in the 89th minute. It's Chloe Minas and Nakamura all tangled up there. Did see Monyard pick up a yellow card just before that last free kick. Good opportunity now for the Tides on their own set piece in the 89th minute. Ball is up, dealt in, looking for Valorant, headed on towards goal. Ball is there for the taking. Kennedy skies this one up and into the top netting as Karpenko watches closely.
It's a good delivery into the box. You see Valorant get up to challenge that, and they win that second ball as well. Kennedy's able to collect it, but not able to keep her body over top of it, just gets under it and skies it over top of the net. But that hunger remains, Matt. You're still seeing it. Obviously, both teams want to be able to score that difference maker goal. You're seeing it from the Tides for sure right now.
Kennedy first to the ball, passed Lees for a second, but Bilbao circling back for the Roses. Good tackle, Nakamura might have some space. Blouin had a whole path in front of her. The ball just never arrived. Might not be done here. Lemire wins the ball back. Now out to Blue Eye. This time she's well detected. Clegg following up and overruns the ball.
It's really well defended by Sauvé. Great work to recover and shut that down.
And the Tides with numbers forwards. This might be Montreal's time to attack.
But again, you're seeing that decision-making, Matt, really letting them down, forcing the ball into players who have no support around them.
Ball is in towards the middle. Montreal appears for a offside, and it is given. As Blouin just a step or two in behind the final defender, according to the assistant referees. All right, 4 minutes of stoppage time. Will we have a winner today?
Ooh, I mean,
That's
I will
the big
say
question.
every time I've said there's going to be more goals, and I'm pretty sure there's a few producers that can attest to this, I screwed up and nobody scores any more goals. So I am hopeful that there is, but I'm not going to say for certain.
Oh, here's Chair right into the penalty area, goes up and over the crossbar. Had a very small angle there. Thought there might have been some room to go and find that winner herself. Instead, it's a goal kick for Toth. It's away from the Tides keeper. Cheram again. He's really had a strong night down this side. Wins a free kick here. Gloves on for Sid Kennedy today. Not the true sign of fall.
It's true.
Winter's around the corner. Snow tomorrow.
No, don't say that.
It's the way it works in Atlantic Canada. Ball is up, headed away, back into the penalty area though. Trying to take it back, and Kennedy, good control right in front of Lees. Ball's into the middle. Taken back. Cedeno pass, read well by Reeves, or Lees I should say, and the flag comes up again. That's a fiery look there from Stephen Hart. Well, there we go.
Got some Nakamura fans in the stands there.
Either they're very nervous or very cold.
I'm going to go with cold. You can see a
Could be
bit of
both.
disbelief there on Hart's face.
Yeah, he was not happy. 3 Tides looking for this ball. Valeron goes down. Cheram wins it back. Valeron comes right back up. The 3rd minute of stoppage time. Taken back again by the Roses, looking for the winner. A draw would put them into 2nd place on the tiebreaker they currently hold over the Ottawa Rapid.
The quality of their passes still letting them down. You see there Boychuk trying to chip that ball over top, but Halifax doing well to be able to clear that out and not give them anything too dangerous.
Cedeno showing a yellow card here, Jess, after the flag went up. Perhaps that sparked the anger from the manager from the touchline. Can't be long now. Cheram does well. Past one member of the Tides, but not the second. Cedeno, the substitute, wants that ball forward. Comes off of Hill and straight up. Clegg hunting around, and Karpenko had to be decisive there. Roll this ball to Minas. Maybe time for one last chance here. Karpenko comes out. Plays and it's sent away by the Roses. Held down, good pace from Cedeno. And that is full time from the Maritimes. A spirited 2-2 draw between the Halifax Tides and Montreal Roses. And the results after 23 matches puts the Roses now into 2nd position on a tie on points with Ottawa.
It's a frustrating match for the Roses. This is a team that wants to be able to secure as many points as they can, Matt, to be able to really secure that second spot ahead of Ottawa. But it was not their night. They weren't clean in that final third. But Sarah Miller for the Halifax Tides came up big. Today was her night. She's a player that has shown consistently what she's capable of all season long. But today she's able to get her flowers and get that recognition. 2 goals on the night, 2 fantastic goals at that. Hardworking. Definitely a great night for the Halifax Tides. A lot for them to be proud of. Montreal needs to just clean it up heading into their next matchup. Clean up those simple passes, be able to find that precision in the final third. They just looked a little disconnected tonight.
Sarah Miller with the 2 goals for the Tides tonight. The first brace in Halifax Tides history. And how about that? 22 shots, 7 on target for Halifax. Really gave it their all, but the Roses managed to come back not once, but twice in this match to secure an away point out in Halifax. And let's keep going on Sarah Miller, because there's 1 star of the match today. It had to be the local hero, number 11 for Halifax.
You know, Matt, it's also one thing to score a beautiful goal, but for it to be a complete individual effort. She wins the ball, specifically on her second goal. She wins that ball back, drives forward, super confident, takes players on 1v1. She deals with the physicality of Lees, which is not an easy feat, that's for sure. And she turns inside and is able to hit that ball with such precision and quality, finding the back of the net. But overall, a player that deserves all the praise. She is a hardworking player. You can tell that she's somebody that is very humble because of how hard she's able to work and really just shine for her team. So great night for her. Super proud of her. I think that she has a bright future ahead of her.
So the post-match festivities beginning. Stephen Hart leading the battle charge here for the Tides, who do pick up a point here on a strong effort in front of the home fans tonight. Same thing for Robert Rosatoyu, who had that spirited pre-match chat. 2 matches to go for Montreal to try and find that playoff form, and also to try and lock in home field advantage at Stade Boreal. So the final game of the week, match week 25, we head out west to beautiful Alberta. McMahon Stadium, you can catch this one on CBC. Saturday on CBC, the Wild hosting AFC Toronto. And again, the start time there, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Once again, the final score tonight in the Maritimes. It is the Tides 2 and the Roses 2. What a match. Had a little bit of everything.
It definitely did. It was an exciting one, Matt. It kept us on our toes. Very good performance from the Halifax Tides.
And a brace from Sarah Miller. For Jess Lisi and all of our hard-working Northern Super League crew, my name is Matt Cullen saying good night from the Maritimes.